So inheriting a house can be one of the most rewarding and scary things all at the same time. In this episode, I'm going to tell you exactly what do you do when you inherit a house. Hey guys, welcome back. In this episode, I've got 9 things you absolutely must do when you inherit a house. Some are pretty obvious and some might not be so obvious. All right, first thing is you want to know what creditors and what bills are needing to be paid, and you want to make sure they're all caught up. And you might be thinking, Brent, I don't have the money to pay my own bills, let alone for the house I just inherited. That is okay. You just want to make sure you get on top of them, you communicate with these creditors, and you let them know the plan of action. You might not have a plan. Well, figure out a plan and discuss one with them. Number 2, taxes, property taxes. If this house is even paid for free and clear, you must still pay Caesar. You want to know the property taxes. And the fastest way to figure that out is go to the county assessor site and look up that property address, or the county treasurer's site, or the county tax collector. Depending on what state, it's going to be called the treasurer or the tax collector. You can look up the property address and see what the yearly taxes are and if there's any past bills owed. And if you're not so sure by looking at the website, I want you to make a simple phone call and give them the address and see where the actual property taxes stand, because you could actually lose this property very quickly in some states if you're not paying those back taxes if they're owed. Number 3, does this property have a mortgage? A mortgage, this is a monthly payment that has to be paid every single month, or the bank will come a knocking and they will eventually take that property or that house. So you want to figure out, look through the files, look through the statements. If there's nothing there, then you can go to a title company and do a simple title search and see if there's any liens or encumbrances or mortgages on that property, or deeds of trust or promissory note. You want to definitely figure that out and get that mortgage caught up if it's not already caught up. And if it's behind, you want to communicate and make sure this property does not go into foreclosure. Because once the property goes into foreclosure, that is a whole nother string of events that you'll have to do. You want to get it caught up as quick as possible. And again, you might be thinking, I don't have the money to do this. Well, you definitely want to communicate with that bank or that mortgage company to show them the plan of action. Look, I just inherited the house. I need a little bit more time. How much is owed? When does foreclosure proceedings start? Number 4, homeowners insurance. A lot of properties, if they're paid off, they probably don't even have homeowners insurance. You want to figure out if there is homeowners insurance and make sure it's being paid up. And if you don't have it, you want to probably get it. Because what if a squatter moves into the house and they put little tiny candles up on a little shelf and the candle flame is licking the ceiling? That literally happened to one of our houses that we purchased. Another, incident is, what if someone just goes in and just completely vandalizes it and kicks every single wall in and rips out the pipes and the house floods? It's literally damaged so far that you don't want to have to deal with that. You want an insurance company to hopefully help you get out of that. And if you don't have insurance on the property, it's probably going to be tough to get it. However, if it's a vacant house and it's not currently being rented, it actually might even be a little bit more difficult, but you call enough insurance companies. One of them I recommend is Citizens. They've been able to help us out a buying before, but yeah, just start calling insurance companies and see what it will take to get at least some sort of policy on that property. Because if someone goes and gets hurt on that property, it's in your name, they can now sue you because there's no insurance on that property. Number 5, depending on where you're at in the country, you're probably going to have to have some air conditioning or some heat. You want to make sure the mechanicals are working in the house. If you're in a cold weather environment, you want to make sure that heat is kept on, because there's a thing called pipes freezing over. And when those pipes freeze and they thaw, actually they freeze, they expand and they crack. And when they thaw out, now you have pinholes or cracks in your pipe and your house is flooding. So if no one's going to be there, you want to absolutely make sure that heat is probably set at about 59 degrees. And why 59 degrees? Because it's only freezing at 32 or below, right? Well, you got to think about the crawl spaces and the cabinets and all those things. So you want to open the cabinets, open the crawl spaces, keep that house warm enough so that water never ever freezes. And if possible, maybe winterize the house where you blow the water out of all the lines. You have the lines completely water-free. The toilets are completely water-free. That's only if you're going to have the house, sitting more than 6 months or so. Usually on my properties that are in cold weather environments, we usually leave the water in the pipes, but we keep the heat on and we monitor it. Same thing with hot weather environments. Places like Florida and Louisiana in the southeast of the United States, you want to keep the air conditioner running because there's such high humidity. You can actually get mold growing in houses. You want to keep that air conditioner probably running about 80 to 81 degrees, so there's somewhat of airflow going through there each day, and that's a very small expense. You might be thinking, oh, I don't want to air condition a house when no one's in it. I highly recommend it because these houses completely implode when there's not air conditioning running in it for long enough. Hey guys, quick note, if you've ever left your air conditioner off or the heat got turned off, drop it in the comment below. I love reading the stories of things people find. And also, if you want to give me a little extra tip, smash that subscribe button. I come out with these 5 days a week. Let's keep going. All right, number 7, I want you to keep that lawn mowed and that snow shoveled, because there's a thing about when you let things go, they just all start to go. You want to keep the property's appearance good, because if you're given that appearance of high grass or trash in the yard, or you're not shoveling your driveway, even though no one lives there, you're giving the appearance of no one being there, and things start to happen. People like just squatters randomly move in there, and you don't want to give it the appearance of that it's vacant, because that's when problems start happening with properties. Number 8, you want to make sure all windows are shut and secured, and if they're broken, they need to be boarded up. But I want you to go ahead and schedule someone to come out and repair those windows. I don't want you leaving these boarded up windows, because that is another way to show that screams, this house is vacant, come on in, no rent needed, and squatters move in. I want the doors to be locked and secured, because you don't want people just coming and going on your property, because that is the fastest way to get your inherited house. The value just goes down, it screams down. I bought a lot of houses where people just randomly just have boarded up windows and the grass is not mowed, and all these things start to add up, and it really takes away from the value of that home. So speaking of me buying multiple properties that are boarded up and unsecure, and the pipes have frozen over and flooded and walls kicked in, we buy houses like that every single day. If you're looking for a quick way, a way to not have to worry about any of this stuff, or maybe you're behind on the mortgage, or the house is just completely beat up and run down, we buy houses in any condition. We even buy land. So if you're interested in hearing from us, or you want to talk more about it and we can kind of look at your actual situation, I want you to head on over to ZechBuysHouses.com. It's on the screen, ZechBuysHouses.com. You'll either talk to me, Jen, or Chrissy, and we can discuss your situation and see if we can help you. No matter what state it's in, we'd love to help you.